High above the swirling gas giant, where the atmosphere dances in vibrant hues and the winds sing ancient songs, nestled among the glittering stardust of the Andromeda galaxy, a place where stars are born and cosmic wonders unfold, resided the prestigious Academy of Stellaris. Here, brilliant young minds from across the cosmos gathered, eager to unravel the universe's mysteries. Among them were Xylar, the stoic Kiptarian with scales shimmering like 1,000 sunsets, each scale reflecting a different story of his home planet, and Lyra, the ethereal Lunarian whose antennae pulsed with bioluminescent light, casting a gentle glow that mirrored the soft luminescence of her wings. Today, anticipation crackled in the air, for Professor Zill, the Academy's most esteemed historian, was to lecture on galactic wars. Xylar, his reptilian eyes narrowed in focus, tapped his claws impatiently against his datapad, the metallic sound echoing softly in the high-tech classroom. Beside him, Lyra swayed slightly, her gossamer wings fluttering with a quiet hum, a sign of her nervous excitement. Their anticipation was palpable, a shared energy that connected them and the other students in the room. Professor Zill, a being of immense wisdom and age, his very presence radiating an aura of quiet power, entered the lecture hall. His eyes, deep and knowing, scanned the room, taking in the eager faces of his students. A hush fell over the students as he began his lecture, his voice a deep, resonant baritone that seemed to echo through the very fabric of the room. He spoke of ancient battles and forgotten heroes, of strategies that shaped the fate of galaxies and the lessons learned from those tumultuous times. The students hung on his every word, their minds racing to absorb the knowledge and insights he shared, knowing that they were part of a legacy that spanned the stars. Galactic wars, the very fabric of our history, have shaped the destiny of countless civilizations, Professor Zill intoned, his voice echoing through the vast hall, resonating with the gravity of his words. These wars are a stain on our collective history, a testament to the folly of sentient beings, a reminder of our darkest hours. His four eyes swept across the attentive faces before him, each gaze heavy with the weight of eons, reflecting the shared burden of their ancestors. Yet, he continued, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, as if revealing a forbidden secret, there is one species, now absent from this grand alliance, that is forever barred from participating in these conflicts. Their name is lost to time, their legacy erased from our records. A wave of murmurs rippled through the hall, a mixture of shock and curiosity spreading among the students. Xylar's scales shifted, reflecting his surprise, the colors changing rapidly as he processed the information. Lyra's antennae twitched, her bioluminescence flickering with curiosity, casting a soft glow around her. The mention of a banned species was unheard of, shrouded in mystery and speculation, a topic rarely discussed even in the most secretive circles. What act could be so heinous, so unforgivable, that an entire species was banished from galactic warfare? What could they have done to warrant such a severe punishment? The question hung heavy in the air, a silent undercurrent to Professor Zill's lecture, leaving the students to ponder the dark secrets of their history. Professor Zill, sensing the shift in the room's energy, paused. His antennae twitched slightly, a subtle sign of the gravity of what he was about to reveal. The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation. A knowing glint flickered in his ancient eyes, eyes that had seen countless eons and witnessed the rise and fall of many civilizations. The species, he said, his voice low and grave, were known as humans. His words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of history and the echoes of a forgotten past. And their banishment, young scholars, stems from an act so profoundly disturbing, so existentially terrifying, that the very memory of it sends shivers down the spines of even the most hardened warrior races. The students' eyes widened, their faces a mix of fear and fascination. He launched into a tale of a species long gone, a species of unparalleled ingenuity and ambition, but also of terrifying potential for destruction. They were creators and destroyers, builders of wonders and harbingers of doom. He spoke of their relentless drive for conquest, their mastery of technology that bordered on the unholy, and their capacity for violence that chilled even the most battle-hardened Krog. Their machines of war were like nothing the galaxy had ever seen, capable of laying waste to entire planets. The students listened, rapt, their initial curiosity giving way to a growing sense of unease. They could feel the weight of the professor's words, the dark legacy of the humans casting a long shadow over their thoughts. The room, once filled with eager minds, now buzzed with a palpable tension as the tale of the humans' rise and fall unfolded before them. Professor Zill recounted ancient battles, where human weapons, powered by forces unknown, tore apart starships and shattered planets. He spoke of their tactics, ruthless and unforgiving, that left entire civilizations in ruins. The students, raised on tales of honorable combat and strategic warfare, were aghast. This was not war as they understood it, this was annihilation. Their weapons, Professor Zill whispered, his voice hoarse with emotion, were not merely tools of destruction. They were instruments of terror, designed to inflict not just physical pain, but psychological torment on a scale unimaginable. The air in the hall grew heavy, the silence punctuated only by the professor's grim narration. The students, their faces pale, began to understand the gravity of the human transgression. Section 5. The Hushed Transgressions. The professor's voice dropped to a whisper as he recounted the final, unforgivable act that sealed humanity's fate. An act so abhorrent, so fundamentally against the very fabric of reality, that it had been stricken from galactic records, whispered only in hushed tones in the darkest corners of the universe. The students leaned closer, their eyes wide with a mixture of horror and morbid fascination. What could be so terrible, so profoundly wrong, that it could lead to the complete and utter ostracization of an entire species? The anticipation was thick, a suffocating blanket of tension that settled over the lecture hall. Section 6. Unveiling the Terrifying Truth. The humans, Professor Zill finally revealed, his voice barely a whisper, discovered humor. A collective gasp swept through the hall. They weaponized it, he continued, his voice trembling slightly. They created jokes, puns and limericks of such devastating wit, of such side-splitting absurdity, that entire armies were rendered helpless with laughter. The students stared at him, their faces a mixture of disbelief and dawning horror. Humor as a weapon? It seemed impossible, ludicrous even, yet the look on Professor Zill's face told them this was no joke. Section 7. The Silence of Revelation. Silence descended upon the hall, heavy and absolute. The revelation hung in the air, a stark and terrifying truth. The students, raised on tales of glorious battles and noble sacrifices, struggled to comprehend the sheer absurdity of it all. Xylar, his scales now a dull grey, stared at Professor Zill, his reptilian eyes wide with disbelief. Lyra, her bioluminescence dimmed to a faint flicker, swayed slightly, as if the very concept of humour as a weapon was too much for her delicate senses to bear. The air crackled with unspoken questions, with the sheer impossibility of it all. Section 8. The Weight of Knowledge. Professor Zill, his face etched with the weariness of ages, surveyed his students. He saw their disbelief, their horror, their struggle to reconcile this new knowledge with everything they thought they knew. The galaxy, he said, his voice heavy with sorrow, feared the chaos they unleashed, the sheer unpredictability of their humour. They feared that laughter, once it began, could not be contained, that it would spread like wildfire, consuming entire civilizations in its wake. Section 9. A Galaxy Forever Changed. The students sat in stunned silence, the weight of the revelation pressing down on them like a physical burden. They now understood why the humans were banned, why their very name was uttered only in hushed whispers. The laughter of a single species, once a source of joy and amusement, had become a weapon of unimaginable power, a force that had reshaped the very fabric of galactic society. Section 10. The Lingering Question. As they left the lecture hall, their minds abuzz with questions and doubts. One thought echoed in the minds of every student. If laughter could be so powerful, so devastating, what did it say about the species that wielded it? And what would happen if humanity, now absent from the galactic stage, ever decided to return? The answer, like the echo of ancient laughter, lingered in the air, a chilling reminder of the day humor became the most terrifying weapon in the galaxy.